Welcome back, guys. Today we're gonna break down what's in every one of our wedding camera bags. We got cameras, we got audio cables, we got tripods. I mean, truly crazy stuff. So most of this gear we've been using for the better part of 3 years with zero issues. Unless you like to throw lenses around like I do. For us, gear should support your vision and not hinder it, and that's what this kit is all about. Everything in here is trustworthy and time-tested. We know for a fact that we can take this wherever we need to, whenever we need to. So, no more rambling, let's break it down. So first things first, the camera bag everything goes in. We use the Pidgeotech camera bag. I don't think you need like those crazy Peter McKinnon, small rig, Potato Jet, Jack, whatever. You don't need those. We love it, it's perfect, fits plenty of stuff, gets a little heavy, but what doesn't? Let's hop into the cameras. So the camera that we squeeze into this little backpack that we've used for many years is the Ursa Mini Pro. Just kidding. We did actually use it, but now cameras are so good that we don't need that big old thing. Although, sometimes I miss it. Alright guys, that's great, Jeez. Our primary camera these days is the Sony a7S III. We've got 3 of them in each kit. They're much smaller, 4K 60, great autofocus, wide variety of lenses, and the color looks good. And even for such a small camera, the battery life is surprisingly good. And let's be honest, everyone's gonna watch it on their phones anyway, so why does it even matter how good the camera is? Another really great thing about this camera is the low light performance. The native ISO is 640 and 12,800. I don't know about you, but that's a frick ton of ISOs. I know what you're thinking. You're a videographer, you're like, why are you using the Sony a7S III instead of the FX3? Well, for us, the reason is actually just this low viewfinder. On a sunny day during weddings, this thing is great. All you have to do, poke your eye right in there, you can see anything you want. It's a really versatile camera. We love this thing. Next up, we have our lenses. So for most of the day, we're rocking the Tamron 28-70 f2.8. 28-70 is the perfect range to be able to capture the whole day. You can get long enough for the ceremony or reception, but you can also get wide enough in order to get those tasty wides. Next up, we have the Tamron 70-180 f2.8. This lens is sharp, it's small, it's light, and more importantly, you can get all the way to that 180 range. This is perfect for those moments of the day when we want to get close without getting too close. We use it during speeches and the ceremony, and often our second shooter will be using this one. Next up, we have the Rokinon 35mm f1.4. This is our only lens that's purely manual focus. We use this lens for our unmanned master camera, and we found that if it has autofocus, then the camera may turn on to autofocus at some point and will start to mess with the scene. We'd rather just rely on our own eyes to do the focus. We've also found that 35mm is wide enough and tight enough for most ceremonies and receptions. Next up, we have our gimbal, the DJI RS3 Mini. For us, the RS3 Mini is the perfect size. It's smaller than the RS3. It's good to have a light gimbal since this will be in our hands for most of the day. We also added a quick release plate right here to this so that we can mount this right onto our tripods as well. You do have to be careful with the RS3 so as not to strip the motors, but in the time we've used it, I think it's been pretty good. I think it's worked well. Next up, we're onto the audio. So first up, we have our Zoom H1. This handy little audio device is perfect for all of our backups. We use this for our lavaliers as a backup for any of our sources. Put it on a podium, put it up next to a speaker, and it just works. It works! It works! It's got a little input dial right at the front that we use to control the audio. You'll notice that we taped over it just because we don't want that input dial to switch all over the place. We'll often use the Zoom H1 with the Rode Smart Lab as well. This is our lavalier of choice. The audio quality is perfect. We've used it for hundreds of weddings and it always works. What more could you want from audio? You know what I mean? In this audio bag, I keep all of the cables required to connect to the DJ's board. So we've got, first of all, our Zoom F3, and I'm throwing things. This is a float audio device. It's XLR only, but it's a set it and forget it kind of thing. The battery life lasts 6 to 7 hours. The record quality is perfect. And so far we've had no issues with it. You can lock it with a hold button. You have a record button here. It runs on micro SDs. Also in that bag, I keep all the cables required to connect to the DJ's board. So we have, first up, a 1/4 inch to XLR. We've got an RCA to XLR. And we've got standard XLR. Between those 3 cables, you can plug into any DJ board on the market. I also always like to keep a little auxiliary cable in here. This is just so in case I need to run an additional source. So I might run with one of our H1s directly into the board or out of the speaker via the aux cord. I always keep a good pair of headphones in there as well. It's never good enough to just look at the levels. You need to listen to the audio too. That's why we have the headphones. Of course, we have those ND filters. Oftentimes, we want to keep the shutter speed where it is for that cinematic look. We want to keep the aperture where it is to get that nice bokeh. So the ISO is the main thing we adjust. So we use this ND filter as a way to kind of adjust the lighting while keeping our cameras at the native ISO they should be. So we use the Freewell variable ND. It goes from 2 stops to 5 stops. The other miscellaneous stuff we have is this little small rig tool. Now, if you take anything from this video, take this. This thing is incredible. It's awesome. It's just this small little tool, but it features every camera tool that you'll probably need. You've got a flathead, you've got an assortment of Allen wrenches, you've got a Phillips head, and any other tools you might need. Okay, the final miscellaneous things we have in our bag are a 4-way charger, which we use for all of our batteries and for our gimbal as well. This is made by Adapter 3.0. No, this is made by someone, probably Amazon. We also have a heck ton of batteries, and that's it for our camera bag. Perfect. Next up, we have a rigging bag. This big boy is by Newer. We haven't found a bag that is the perfect solution for this. This one works well, but it does tend to break right around the ends on either side. If you know of a better bag, let us know in the comments. We would love to hear it. In this bag, first of all, we have an umbrella. This is such a helpful thing to have on a wedding day. You never know when it's gonna rain. You might need it for your cameras, or you could just show a little bit of reckless generosity and use it for the couple. Give it to them, let them use it if it starts raining. Umbrella.
What is umbrella?
Good.
We also have these tripods. These are caver tripods. They are so small, yet they can still get about 8 feet tall. We make sure to put a quick release attachment on top of it that works for all of our other devices as well. Let's do a quick setup. So, setup without the bar. With the bar, you can go up about 8 feet. It's high enough to get over the heads of people and still light and small. Definitely recommend the caver tripod.
Speed break it down.
Done. Crap. Right. So we have 2 more of those tripods for our other cameras. And then we also have, here the silver light stand. I don't know who makes this one. We use this for one of our bigger lights because it has a little bit more weight capacity and it's not as easy to knock over.
Steady now. Come on. Walk on. Walk on.
We also have these little stands by eMart. We use these for our little lights or for backup audio. We might put the backup audio on top of here and shove it up right next to the speaker. So we got 2 of those. And finally, possibly the 2 most important things we have in this bag.
Musician, drum roll.
We have a trash bag. Once again, if it rains, you don't need a $50 rain bag. Use a trash bag, that's all you need. And gaff tape. I will constantly swear by gaff tape. You can tape down cables, you can tape up a broken stand, you can use it to hang a camera if you needed to, although I probably wouldn't recommend that, but. We're on to basically our final thing, our lighting. So we use the Aperture 60X. This light is the perfect mix of bright enough while also not being too bright to blind guests. It also has spot and flood control, so we can shoot it across the room if we need to. You got those nice barn doors. It's a very versatile light. I think it's waterproof too. I mean, I don't know why you'd need that, but you've got it. We usually run it with V-mount batteries specifically. It has this port for mounting a V-mount. So satisfying. Reloading. So we run it mostly off of V-mount for the whole day, but it also has some other power options. You can run it off of NPF batteries, or you can run it via AC power. Super, super helpful. In this bag, we also keep all of our lighting gear. We also include one of our Viltrox lights. This little panel, we use this for getting ready, for reception, anytime we need just a little spot of light. It's not gonna do too much, and it's not gonna blind people, so that's why we like it, but it's also very soft. Reloading! We also have one that has a cold shoe adapter for use of putting on the camera during the party time. This gets those nice, cool party time dancing without having to blind everyone with a big light. Finally, after lighting, we have our drone bag. This one is Pidgey-Tech. It actually came with a backpack. We use a DJI Air 2S. We're kind of due for an upgrade, so we might be using a new one soon. We always bring it with 2 batteries, DJI only. And finally, a controller. And that's it. That's everything we have in our bag. Now I just have to I'll have to repack all of this. So that's our camera bag breakdown. You can find links for everything in the description. Make sure to smash that like button.
That's Peter McKinnon's thing.
Okay, make sure to gently touch that like button and subscribe for more tasty content.
That's still a little weird, but I guess it's okay.
Do whatever you want, I guess.